Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Emergency 101 here on the Homepage Network. I'm your host, Benton Best. As we all know, large-scale emergency incidents and disasters can have a profound impact on even the strongest and most resilient communities. Today, we're going to talk about how you can prepare yourself for a disaster using 4 simple steps. They are as follows. Step 1, know the hazards which may impact you and your area. Step 2, make an emergency plan to survive those hazards. Step 3, test that plan. And Step 4, stay informed. Here's how. There are many websites which can help you identify the hazards most common to your area, but the best resource could be your local emergency management agency. In order to identify all of the hazards most likely to affect your area, you should start broad and then narrow the list. This list should be reasonable but all-inclusive. For example, if you don't live near a coastline, you are most likely not susceptible to a tsunami. However, everyone is at risk of a large-scale earthquake, regardless which part of the United States you live in. Please remember that just because it hasn't happened in your area yet, doesn't mean it won't. Once you know your hazards, you should go through them one at a time with your family and discuss what you would need to do in order to survive them. Next, formalize those discussions into an actual written emergency plan. For example, Ready.gov has templates, so you don't have to start from scratch. In a previous episode, we talked about the importance of having a fire evacuation plan. You should include this plan into your procedures for your emergency plan for all hazards that might require a quick evacuation. But what happens after you evacuate your home? Contact your local emergency management agency to identify where the nearest shelters are and include those in your plan. Also, speak with family members who live outside of your immediate area in case the disaster caused widespread damage and you need to relocate elsewhere. Map out at least one evacuation route in each direction so that you have multiple options during a disaster. If you live in Pennsylvania, many of these routes have already been established and are marked by physical road signs that show a color and the word detour. Know where these routes are and include a map of them in your emergency plan. Include the phone number and account information for your mortgage company into your emergency plan and include details of how to make mortgage payments. In order to receive disaster funding, you must continue to pay your mortgage after a disaster, even if your home has been completely destroyed. Keep your emergency plan in a binder in a safe location in your home. We would recommend keeping it in the same location as your emergency kit, which we'll cover in another episode. Also, place the plan on an encrypted thumb drive and secure it somewhere safely in your car or at work so that your plan is always available, even if you cannot access a physical paper copy. When we come back, we'll talk about how to effectively test your family's emergency plan. Stay with us.
The Mansfield Laurel Health Center is now accepting patients in the brand new state-of-the-art Susquehanna Health Medical Plaza at Mansfield. In the same facility, Susquehanna Health is offering physical and aquatic therapy, imaging, laboratory, cardiology, and sports medicine services. For more than 40 years, our 6 Laurel Health Centers have provided high-quality, compassionate care to the residents of Tioga County, offering family-based primary care services, obstetrics, pediatrics, preventive screenings, and diabetes education, as well as outpatient counseling and therapy services. Our passion is to provide comprehensive health care to all who need it with dignity and respect.
Welcome back. If the safety of your family is the most important thing for you, then having and testing a family emergency plan must be a top priority. First, pull out the plan and double-check all names, addresses, and contact information. Consider contacting your local emergency management agency and having them review the plan or provide additional information. Next, check to be sure the medication and functional needs information is up to date. Has anyone changed their dosage, or is the dog eating a new brand of dog food? This is important to keep current. Last of all, test the plan. Leave your home with your Go Kit and emergency plan. Follow the evacuation routes to your relocation site and see if it would be reasonable throughout all of the different hazards you've already identified. Of course, for any emergency plan to work, it is imperative that individuals and families stay informed. Some ways you can do this are through your local radio station, the National Weather Service, your local or state Department of Transportation, and finally, some emergency management agencies which may have a preparedness messaging program. In Tioga County, Pennsylvania, we utilize the Swift 911 system as a tool for providing emergency information before, during, and after an incident. Every resident and visitor should sign up for this free program to receive alerts through their preferred method. Staying informed will save lives. If you don't know that a hazard is coming your way, you don't know to take preventative measures which could mean the difference between life or death. For more information on how to stay informed or any other topics we've discussed today, please go to ready.gov. It's important to note that it is every individual's duty and responsibility to be prepared for a large-scale incident or disaster. Help will be on the way, but it may not come for several hours or even days. Every family needs to have a plan. Every individual needs to have a plan. And every plan should be tested. For more information on how to create a plan, please visit these resources. Thanks again for joining us on another episode of Emergency 101 here on the Homepage Network. Plan to be safe. Plan to be alive.